Let's go. Let's try this one, and then we'll go straight to here. Oh, of course my camera's not working. Where am I? Where is he gone? Where's Hal? He was here a second ago. What in the world? I'm here, but can they see me? Nope. Let's see if that one's it. Let's see, we'll bring it back. Maybe if we restarted, something like that. Hey, look at that. Look at, shoo. I appeared as very Star Trek, the whole thing. Welcome, everybody. Hello. Hi. How you doing? So much to talk about today. It would be, let me see if by the way, let me bring in the chat here because I need to talk to you guys. Sorry, I'm a little late today. I had to file stuff in court today, and it just takes time. It's nothing. It's just boring, perfunctory stuff, businessy things. But you got to do it in person. And now there is an argument to be made, ladies and gentlemen, that you can hire somebody for that. Now, as the father of a child, every dime you're spending someplace else for something you could do yourself is money that's not going to your kid, is how I view it. But I understand how, time is money and money is everything till it's gone or something. And so on the one hand, you could hire somebody to go down and do it, or you could pay for a service, or you could add time to the process, drag stuff out, make it a couple, like a 6-week process that could be done in 10 days by, sending somebody else to do it. But as a comedian, I feel like it's my job to show up, to do it. You know what I mean? That's why I do my grocery shopping. I take my stuff to the dry cleaners and sometimes forget to pick it up. I get it. I'm sorry. I go out and buy shoes. I don't just order stuff online and stuff. I actively seek life out because I feel like maybe as an actor, you can live in an ivory tower. Even as a musician, you could spend all your time in the studio just thinking, right? Reminiscing on emotions you once had and turning them into song. Cool. But as a comedian, you got to live life. You got to sit there next to everybody else while they're waiting for their number to come up. And that DMV thing, which is way better than it used to be, where, you get like you'd have to just sit there until or stand in line. You couldn't sit. You just had to stand in line until you were at the front of the thing, however long it took. Then you could get like a deli number at one point, and then it became a multiple number, like with 4 digits in it, and you have to sit there staring, now serving B7425, and you're like, B701, you're there, 701, 745, I'm going to be 801, let's carry the 6. I got 2 hours. If everybody hurries, I'll be up in 10 minutes. If everybody's got a bunch of paperwork and some asshole shows up with a Unabomber manifesto instead of the actual documents he's supposed to file, I'm going to be here till tomorrow. So anyways, pretty fascinating process and pretty easy, actually. I got to say, like the days of, it doesn't even work to make fun of the DMV like people use it. It's fucking lazy. Government can't do anything right. Maybe in 1981, because they didn't have the technology to do it, stupid. You had to just stand there because you were you were amongst the public who classically do not have their shit together most of the time, right? Think how screwed up a Starbucks line or the line for a Disney ride can be, and then add that to whether or not you'll be able to drive, right? It's a lot. So, I would like to say to all the public servants out there operating your DMVs, your county records, your family courts, your civil lawsuit courtrooms, all that kind of stuff. I'm sorry, and you're doing a great job. I'm sorry you have to deal with us and our absolute weirdness, and I really appreciate the fact that you do what you do. How you do it, when you did what you did. Know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And it's good because I got, I had some time. I didn't have any headphones with me, so I ended up, that was a mistake. That was a big mistake. Should have brought a set of headphones. I didn't think about it. Honestly didn't. Stupid. I want a story of Hal on jury duty. Well, I keep getting kicked off. I would do jury duty in a second, but they tend not to want me. And both sides can come up with a reason to broom me, and not the least of which is I'm a bit yappy for a living. That would be anybody go check out Recreation, my comedy album that I recorded at the Ice House in Pasadena. The day I had to deliver some legal papers in my child custody stuff years ago, and I had a deadline to get it there at 5 o'clock. God damn it! Don't fucking drop all your weirdo hepatitis nonsense, you witch doctor asshole. What the hell? Bounce. You gotta love Facebook, don't you? But I basically, I was in traffic. I was gonna make it. I had to drop these documents off, and then I had to race to my show. And while I'm driving down the 405, traffic stops. Oh well. But according to my GPS, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna be just fine. And then I and 6 other cars that were stopped near the back of this group of cars that had slowed to a stop got rear-ended by some dude who just was not paying attention, who just plowed into all of us, literally, like, just knocked cars like he was parting the Red Sea. And it flattened my back right tire, and but I had a spare, so I managed to throw the spare on. It was nuts. Like, I basically, I didn't even do my act that night. I just did a whole hour and change on being in a car wreck. And it was great. It's a great show. It's a great album. Recreation. Check it out on iTunes. But that was all, on my way to do kind of filing things. And I got to say, there was a tremendous amount of, there was a great relief to not being able to make it. So I like, you're tense. You're like, okay, I'm going to make it with just 8 minutes, 10 minutes. If something goes wrong, I'll blah, blah, blah. And then everything gets so fucked so fast that you're like, I'm never going to make it now. Okay, whatever. And it was a tremendously freeing moment to be in a giant, massive car accident. Yeah. Thanks, Carl. Yes, you were there. Bless your heart. So you would have just cried. Well, it's interesting. I was certainly emotional about it. I got to tell you, any parent that's been through a custody thing has either cried on their way to court or cried on their way home, no matter what, because it's your kid. This applies to both sides. I don't shit talk the other parent in my situation because that's not how it works. Because it's the kid. They're the most amazing and impressive and important thing in the world, right? So it's just how it is. Luckily, today was kind of like, okay, I can do it today or I can wait 10 weeks and fuck it. Let's just get it out of the way, right? So I'm back. Hi. That's the long and the short of it. Hello. Now, on my way back, I was watching Byron Donalds was like, I throw on, I wasn't really watching, I was listening to it, but I was throwing some videos on my phone to just try to catch up on some stuff. And one of the things that I saw was it was Byron Donalds shitting on sanctuary cities, right? He's in one of these things. And I'll show you, hold on, let's see the funniest. Yeah, here it is. Let me find this. Hold on, pause. Hold on, there you go. And please tell me it's, okay, guys, enable. Yeah, here it is. So real quick, Byron Donalds is the congressperson for Naples, Florida, which is, I think, the 27th ranked major city area as far as safety, well after some of the cities that he and Republicans shit on all the time. And I want to show you something because he goes after these sanctuary city crowds. And there's a great opening to this. Let me just show you this, and then I'll show you it's kind of magic. Well, and by the way, hit the like, share the show, etc., 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 etc. Okay, so they had this big sanctuary cities meeting today, and all the sanctuary cities that they're talking to produce a shit ton of taxes for the country overall, do very, very well. And you'll see in the beginning of this, and we don't have to watch the whole thing, but he goes after the Boston mayor and she nails him. But he opens up on, I think, the Denver mayor. And the Denver mayor just lays it out. It's really good. Let me show you real quick.
Thank you, Chairman. This is my 3rd term on the Oversight Committee. We've been talking about illegal immigration and oversight the entire time.
Yeah, we had a bill that you could have passed last year or the year before, which is exactly the same as all right, I won't get into it.
Remember, we had a group of this committee that went down to the El Paso section of the border. This was back in February, March of 2021. And during that time period, we were at one of the holding centers.
Now, keep in mind, what state is El Paso in? Just put a pin in that for a second. You'll see what I mean.
And there were these buses that were coming to the detention facility, and they were picking up 30 kids, 50 kids.
These buses, who knows what you're in El Paso at this detention center, and these buses are just showing up and picking up children. And what? And they're doing what?
At random, walking out.
Well, hold on. Buses picking up children at random. No paperwork, no nothing, just gathering children in buses. Then what?
The facility. And when I went over to question the bus driver that was transporting these kids, border agents told me, as a
border agents that live and work in Texas, I'm guessing,
member of Congress, that you're not allowed to question the bus driver. And of course, people knowing me, I didn't take no for an answer. And I repeated the question. And I was told that this bus of children was leaving El Paso and going to San Diego.
The bus was leaving El Paso and going to San Diego. All right.
So what was occurring under the Biden administration is that they
under the Biden administration. Okay, so tell us what was occurring under the Biden administration.
Busing unaccompanied minors all across the United States for one reason and one reason only. And
what would that reason be?
It was because they did not want the press to see the pictures of kids in cages. They did not want to see our borders being overrun. They want.
Hang on, real quick. Were they being put in cages in San Diego, or were they being transferred to sponsors and foster parents and Catholic organizations and orphanages, basically, to be looked after instead of cages in El Paso? Were they? And by the way, I would like to say for the record, he's full of shit. This is not. This gets thrown back in his face, and it's dumb. But let's just take him at his word. So the Biden administration doesn't want kids in cages to be seen in El Paso. So they're sending them to San Diego to be put in other cages that don't exist. Okay. That's how dumb? Yeah.
To disperse that problem all through the United States. That is the reckless history of illegal immigration under Joe Biden and the Democrat Party.
I know what you're thinking, but they don't have cages in those other places. They would just be put with families or taken care of or fed or educated or put in orphanages. It's supposed to kept in a cage in Texas in the El Paso heat. And the Biden administration doing the terrible by moving them because they didn't want them seen in the cages that they weren't in at the place they were going either. Yeah. It gets dumber. And kudos to the Denver mayor. Watch this.
Mayor Johnston of Denver. Yes, you lamented earlier that there were 10 to 11 buses coming per day to your city. Did you ever talk to Joe Biden about why this was happening to your community?
Why? What? You would talk to Joe Biden about buses coming from Texas with people? Let's see.
Thank you, Congressman. I both reached out to Governor Abbott from Texas. He didn't respond, and I did.
Why would you reach out to Governor Abbott of Texas?
See, why? What was the story at that time that would make you reach out to the governor of Texas, besides the fact that the buses were coming from Texas? Could it possibly be that they were being sent by Abbott, just like DeSantis was doing too, where they were busing people out of their states and dropping them in Martha's Vineyard and places like that? Remember that? Okay, that's when this is. Does Joe Biden have any ability to affect what they're doing as far as moving their people around? No, he doesn't. Well, hold on.
When it is Joe Biden, the former commander-in-chief, that opened up our borders, why didn't you talk to him?
Well, our buses directly were being sent from Governor Abbott in Texas. So that was why we reached out to say we're happy to collaborate on a coordinated entry system. We understand no one state or no one city should bear the entire brunt of this, but let's collaborate. But I did.
So I'm glad you said that, because that brings me.
Yeah, it's great. I'm glad you said that I reached out to. You're completely happy with bringing those children in, but you would like to coordinate when they're going to arrive so they don't just show up with a bus and dump a bunch of kids on the street in downtown Denver at 1 o'clock in the morning and then turn around and drive the truck back to fucking Texas with God knows who at the helm.
My next point. Governor Abbott and Governor DeSantis, when they started moving illegal aliens out of their states.
And they didn't coordinate with the federal government.
Who were bearing the brunt of what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were doing. And they've sent them to Denver. They sent them to Chicago. They sent them to New York. They sent them to Martha's Vineyard. The reason why they did that is
because they were trying to do a publicity stunt and they didn't care about the people. And so instead of coordinating with the cities and the people that they were sending them to, they just drove trucks up there full of people and dumped them like they were a bunch of asshole coyotes.
Because you four could hide behind the realities of illegal immigration on border towns all through our country and on cities and states who did not want to see illegal immigration, but did not have the political representation to go to the White House. And only when it showed up.
Hold on. So the theory is that the reason Denver took in people from El Paso is because they couldn't talk back to the Biden administration. Is that Denver has no say. Denver being a podunk little town that gives very little to its state, I suppose. Couldn't make a phone call to the Biden administration. When in reality, that didn't seem to be their problem at all. Their problem was not whether or not these people were coming in. It was just they wanted to coordinate if people were coming to their town from Texas, say, like every other place. When the Biden administration moved people around, when they came to Denver or they came to someplace else, they coordinated the effort, whereas Texas and Florida were just bumping people off. Now, Texas and Florida have been doing this with their mentally ill and they're drug addicted for years. They drop them off in in California all the time. One-way bus tickets used to be the way they did it, and then they started driving like actual transports.
On your doorstep, did you get upset? Mayor Johnston, coming back to you, how much did your city spend on illegal immigration? Do you have a round number?
Over the last couple of years on all newcomers, whatever their status was, it's around $79 million since 2022.
$79 million. Mayor Johnson, Chicago. How much has the city of Chicago spent on illegal immigration?
If you're referring to the 2022 up to 2024 of the buses coming from Texas, roughly the same percentage of the state of Texas, about 1% of our overall budget.
What is that? Because we don't have the city's budget in front of me. Numbers.
It's 1%. And
1%. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Chicago city budget. I would like to remind you that this asshole has a staff of people that works for him. The Chicago's budget is $17 billion. So $1.7 billion, close to what New York does. $1.7 billion overall on dealing with it over the course of a couple of years. So, 1.7. So probably in the last year, they probably spent about $3 billion all in, approximately. But the Chicago city budget is $17 billion. Budget includes tax and fee increases to close a $982 million budget gap. So they will Chicago balanced their budget this year. Now, where is Byron Donalds from? Now, we know he's from Florida. He's from the Naples area, right? Yeah, Naples, Florida. Can I introduce you to Naples? There was a guy named Alfie. What is it? Ole or something. Anyways, big Republican donor who does this like farm to table, which is very ironic for a Republican, but like farm to table organic farming in Florida. Shockingly had his house raided by the IRS and his grounds raided by INS because he uses, shocker, illegal immigrants and is a huge Trump supporter and supporter of Byron Donalds. Now, on top of that, let me introduce you to Teresa Heitman. She's the mayor of Naples, where Byron Donalds is from.
911, what is your emergency?
Yeah, I think the mayor is drunk.
Sorry, That I gotta say that's gotta be my favorite 911 call transcription I've seen in ages. Yeah, I think the mayor is drunk. This is Mayor Teresa Heitman, the mayor of Naples, Florida, the district where Byron Donalds is the congressperson.
Dashcam footage and 911 audio from the Naples Police
That's her, by the way.
Department reveals why a man called the police on the mayor Wednesday night.
Something about Florida. That just yeah.
He was literally almost running into my Jeep and followed me home. And now she's standing outside talking to me face to face. Seems intoxicated.
I'm not.
You can hear Mayor Heitman
And she goes, I am not intoxicated.
in the background of the audio denying that she was tailgating a couple on their way home. Police say they arrived and found the mayor standing in front of this driveway. That's
She doesn't know these people. I'd like to say, there wasn't like, oh, it's her ex. None of that shit. None of the really Florida shit. This is Byron Donaldson's district.
when they checked if she was drunk.
You're slurring your words a little bit here.
No, sir, I am not slurring my words. I have sat here calmly.
Calmly is a loose term, I think. I've heard you yelling at my officers about twice now.
I
so.
did not yell.
Heitman claimed to have only had a glass of wine and said she did nothing wrong.
Yeah, it was a glass of wine. It was about that big. So that's Byron Donaldson's district. Now, on a sad note, there was a house party shooting in Byron Donaldson's district, not like whatever, a few weeks ago. Nobody's come forward. A girl was killed as somebody opened fire at this thing or whatever. Nobody at the party was an illegal. Nobody at the party was an undocumented, underage child that was bussed there from fucking Texas. So while Byron Donaldson is throwing a lot of shit around, on his watch, during his time as congressman, Naples kind of becoming a dump. Just saying, if I may, chat room. So, the dude, let's see, what was his fucking name? The, Alfie, it's like Naples something. The fuck is that guy? Yeah, Alfie Oakes. That's the guy. Yeah, here you go. Hold on. Accept, go away. This is one of the big Trump donors and Byron Donaldson fans. Oaks Farms, produce and fresh market, seed to table in the Naples Express. Feds raid Oak Farms packing plant and Alfie Oaks' home. Federal agents raided grocery magnate Francis Alfie Oaks, the third's North Naples home and Immokalee produce packing plant, carrying out boxes all day through the night on November 7th. This is right after the election. When they came to his house, he was walking around and they said, let's see if I can do this, like Alfie Oaks, raid, something like that. They had, this dude. The lady asks him, hold on.
Naples, and we saw multiple law enforcement officers coming and going in unmarked cars this morning and afternoon, but they've all left.
Conservative activist Alfie Oaks. I'd like to remind you, this dude is straight up MAGA. I don't even know if it's in this video, but if she might say it or not. But at one point, like somebody asked, they go, "Hey, what's going on?" This is 3 months ago. It's right after the election, and they go, "What's happening, Mr. Oaks?" And he goes, "Go Trump, fight, fight, fight."
And that includes people with the IRS. This is new video of Oaks from about an hour ago. He quickly went into his home after talking to law enforcement, and they were going in and out of his home through the garage, carrying boxes. And we actually saw a man wearing an IRS shirt carry out a computer. One neighbor told me off camera that officers showed up around 11 this morning with a battering ram and that his wife and daughter were home. We reached out to FHP and they confirmed that they were only here assisting other agencies by securing the area, mainly keeping Santa Cruz Court clear. And I spoke to a neighbor who knows Oaks, and this is what he knows.
Right around the corner over here, we just heard, "Open the door," and that's all I really heard. I don't think they kicked the door in. I think his wife, I heard, let him in.
Yeah, so they yelled, "Open the door," and she opened the door. So cool.
Alfie Oakes is a well-known Republican leader. Oakes Farms, a feed-to-table grocery store who employs thousands of people, and we're still waiting to hear more from.
It's weird that the whole, like, isn't that weird? Where the video where it says he's a well-known Republican, suddenly that's what glitches?
Alfie Oakes is a well-known Republican leader. Oakes Farms, a feed-to-table grocery store.
That strike anybody as weird?
Who employs
Whatever.
thousands of people, and we're still waiting to hear more from the Department of Law Enforcement to find out exactly what is going on, and the IRS as well. But for now, we're outside of his home in North Naples. I'm Alexa Velez, NBC2.
So we also have some more brand new video of law enforcement at Alfie Oakes packing plant. If we want to bring that up here, and farm in Immokalee, we'll show you that here in just a moment. Here we go.
By the way, you know that thing about DeSantis being pissed because the state Senate passed a law that would, or tried to pass a law, the Trump Act, and DeSantis actually had to veto it, that would put the immigration enforcement under the Agriculture Secretary of Florida. Okay, that's something that would play right into this dude. Like that's something this guy would ask for. Not the news guy, though.
Some of our first looks from Oakes Farm, seed to table on New Harvest Road. And you can see a law enforcement vehicle there blocking the driveway. We can also confirm the IRS was at
semi-blocking it.
His house. We're told that the Defense Criminal Investigative Service is conducting this investigation right now at the business in Immokalee. Now, Alfie Oakes, of course, is no stranger to controversy. He was previously arrested at a casino, but he does maintain a large following among local conservatives. We have NBC2's Dave Elias outside Seed to Table right now, grocery store in Collier County. Dave.
One hell of a model American.
Yeah, we arrived.
Yeah, in case you're wondering, Ray Finkel is from Collier County. I'm looking for Ray Finkel and a clean pair of shorts.
Here shortly after all of this news was breaking, and when we arrived on scene, there was we didn't see any presence of law enforcement here at the popular Seed to Table restaurant. In fact, I talked with people who were in there shopping at about that same time who told me they saw nothing unusual inside.
Wait a minute, fuck. Is that one of the Hodge twins filming in the background? Yeah. They coming after Alfie Oakes, yeah. Got a real good show. Yeah, they're coming after him. Man, they coming after him.
In fact, if you...
That's my, thank you, that's my Hodge Twins impersonation. It sucks.
Take a look right now. It is business as usual here outside of Seed to Table. Alfie Oakes, of course...
Yeah, that's a parking lot. Thanks, man. Local TV. Keeping the magic alive. All right, now... chat room, hi. You have any more Hodge Twins? Yeah, fight. So anyways, that's what he, that's Byron Donalds' district. That dude, Alfie Oakes, just got his fucking house raided, his sites raided. He had INS and the IRS and Customs and Border Patrol. They had people from the Department of Defense there because obviously he's, using his trucks to ship other shit, it would seem. Big conservative activist in the area, which means funding for Byron Donalds' campaign. But hey, who are we to judge? All we're trying to do is make sure that when they're scooping up the worst of the worst immigrants and trying to get them out of the country, they're not scooping up the naturalized citizens and the actual citizens and the children of citizens who live here and throwing them out of the country with no recourse to get back into the country that is theirs. That is part of the problem.